Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR My Career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day today. I am happy to say we return from suspension following New Hampshire and the crash we had recently with Jack Sprague, and I was asked in the media center this weekend on just going forward and my thoughts and everything coming off of my suspension. Take a listen to my response. Yeah, obviously, just looking forward to getting back to the track in Pocono, and excited, honestly, to announce that I have signed a deal with Red Bull Racing and Dodge to be behind the wheel of their number 83 next season. While getting asked about my future of returning from suspension, I dropped the bombshell news that I have signed a deal with Red Bull Racing, and we will be driving the number 83 Red Bull Dodge next season in 2004 as a new era for NASCAR begins, with a new title sponsor on the way, a new format with the chase on the way, and it's a big deal, and Red Bull is getting involved in the motorsports world, and we are going to be their number one driver in what's only going to be a startup one-car team next season, and I'm excited. We, of course, had to make a decision pretty quick because they had some more options they were going after, but they liked our style. They like what I've been doing on the track, the aggression and the physicality. It's something that they kind of like with Red Bull, and they have made a decision to come get us. Now, I can confirm they have made things pretty clear in terms of they don't want me to be an idiot on the racetrack and do things like what got me suspended. There's a big difference between aggression and getting yourself, suspended now. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to clean things up a little bit, and I do recognize we're going to have to clean up the rest of the season here because NASCAR has also placed me on probation for the remainder of the season following my suspension in hopes to, well, keep me in line a little bit more. So that's another thing we got to be aware of as we come through here into qualifying here in Pocono Raceway. Now, Matt Kenseth, coming off of two back-to-back wins this season, propelling himself right to the top just about of the leaderboard against Tony Stewart, who now leads the championship over Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson. Now, Matt Kenseth has been phenomenal all season long when it comes to qualifying. Could he be on pole position here today at the Tricky Triangle now for our second trip to Pocono in just the last handful of episodes, as well as we hit a 55.339 going P22, kind of about where I expected to be in my return from suspension, and we'll see who is on pole position. I'm honestly going to guess it is the 17 of Matt Kenseth. Oh, I was close, but it's Jimmy Johnson actually getting the pole. That's his 8th pole of his NASCAR Winston Cup Series career. You see the rest of the order there. Jamie McMurray again continues his impressive rookie season in the mid-teens, and all the way at the bottom of the grid, Kenny Wallace and Tony Raines make up row 20 as we fast forward to Sunday afternoon here from the Tricky Triangle. And last time we came here, Ryan Newman absolutely dominated the competition on his way to his first win of now 3 on the season. Ryan Newman, I mean, he's entering the conversation for a championship right now here in just his second season in NASCAR competition. One change I had to make, I actually had Matt Kenseth's career win count incorrect. So that has now been corrected, and he is sitting at 8 career wins following his now 2 back-to-back wins, putting him in a 3-way tie with Kyle Petty as well as Dale Earnhardt Jr. Could he go 3 in a row for career win 9 today? Let's find out. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth lead the field back to the green flag. We're racing one more time from the Tricky Triangle this season as we make the long run down in towards turn number 1, row 2. Kevin Harvick, Bobby Labonte in the number 29 and number 18 as we head down into turn number 1 now, side by side with the Biff. Now right up on the back of the Tide 32 Pontiac of Ricky Craven, your Daytona 500 champion from 2003, heads down Long Pond straightaway just off our front nose. He's side by side with 2-time winner this season of Sterling Marlin as we'll take it 3 wide. Craven backs out. He actually lifts there, lap 1. 49 laps of racing here in Pocono, and we have 13 laps on a full tank of fuel. Now, if we were to save, we could maybe stretch it to 14 laps, but we wouldn't really be able to do anything more than that. So, realistically, we're aiming for that 13 lap mark as Matt Kenseth actually takes the lead on this opening lap here from Pocono, but just from here I can see Kevin Harvick's up there in the conversation, and it looks like Jimmy Johnson's kind of fading early on here in this race now as we're on lap 1, now starting lap 2 to the back of the number 01 here, U.S. Army Pontiac there of Jerry Nadeau, who we know will be back in that car next season, and we are leaning on the back of him for P16 now as Kevin Harvick goes to the lead in that good wrench number 29 as we'll pull alongside this 01 and clear him down Long Pond Straight. So into P16 we go, and it looks like Ricky Craven's got some decent speed here because he's going to follow me right on past the 01, and then down the front straightaway starting lap 3 you can see the speed in that 32. He's actually going to get to my inside into turn 1. Is up ahead you can see McMurray, Michael Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, who's outside of the top 10 right now. Gordon's had some decent results lately, and you know, of course, they've had a very interesting season, a disastrous start. They made a crew chief change, promoted Steve Letarte to the job, which of course they eventually did in real life, but we sped it up by a few years here in this career mode. But ever since Steve Letarte came on board, there's still been a few issues for the 24, but for the most part, things seem to be kind of turning a corner for this 24 DuPont team. With one win on the season for them so far at Bristol, they look to continue, though, to find some success. Speaking of success, Ryan Newman back to the front in Pocono here, and it's looking like he might have brought the same car that dominated the first race in Pocono, as he is now taking control over Kensington, as well as Harvick and Johnson and others, as we continue behind Craven here on lap 6. A little bit sideways there on the exit of turn 1, but we dropped down to P17 after all that, but we would continue to hang with Ricky Craven, and eventually it seemed like the pace was actually going back in my favor a little bit, so I was kind of spending a lap or two just kind of riding behind him, not to force a battle, but it seemed like I said that the pace was kind of going back in my favor, so made a move, cleared him, and as well starting to think about green flag pit stops already. I said we can go 13 laps, but I was looking at coming in very early because as you can see here, I'm slipping around, I'm struggling. So at the end of lap 11, we're going to come into the pits, make our stop. We're going to be right on that fine line of losing a lap or not, I think. But we're going to come in, we'll take 4 tires, but I just need some adjustments because I've flatlined here in 16th and I'm just sliding around. So we're going to try and pit a couple laps early, do a bit of an undercut, gain some ground on the cars in front, and hopefully put a bit of a gap on the cars behind as the green flag comes out. And we're going to make some adjustments, tightening up the car, lowering the right side tire pressures as well, and we'll get these 4 Goodyear tires on the car. We'll fill it up on fuel, adjustments all in one package right here. It's going to be a 15 1-second pit stop as we exit the pits. Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth both go by, so we will lose a lap. Kevin Harvick's going to pass us as well. They're only going to be able to run in like 2 more laps, so I expect them to pit here within the next lap or 2, and then of course we'll be back on the lead lap. So we just needed to stay green for 2 laps, at worst case scenario 3, but I just don't see how they could go that far. And as we come through here towards the end of lap 12, I'm expecting to see pit stops, but never mind because the caution is out. Kurt Busch, Bill Elliott, Jarrett, and Bodine were already in the pits, meaning they're going to be able to stay out and go to the front. And I'm going to be the free pass because we were a lap down, so we're just going to come in and take tires again. And it looks like it might have been Michael Waltrip that brought out the yellow, and oh yes it was. Tunnel turnaround, he goes. Big impact there on the rear end, and it's going to be race over for Michael Waltrip's number 15 team. Not exactly what I wanted to see, and you see now Kurt Busch to the lead, and Matt Kenseth down to P6, Ryan Newman down to P7 as we return back to the action here. Green flag is out one more time here from lap 17 in Pocono Raceway. Now 33 laps to go, and if it stayed green, I was confident in that strategy, and the reason I was willing to pit a couple laps early was because I knew if I pit there, it wasn't going to require an additional pit stop, you know, throughout the race. As long as it doesn't require an additional pit stop, I'm always open to pitting early. And I mean, I made 2 fumbles right there. First, we thought we were going to stay on the lead lap. We were wrong. And the second fumble was the fact that, well, you know, we just didn't prepare for a caution. I didn't think that caution was going to come out. So a mistake, and now we're, you know, deep in traffic, and this is where, well, season-long probation now is going to play a role, but as well, we got suspended. We found out basically the consequences to our actions, and now it's time to clean things up when we're coming through the field. We've made the mistake when we've been coming through the field of just running over drivers, being a little bit too aggressive, and I'm still going to be aggressive. I'm not changing that anytime soon. We are trying to make a name for ourselves here, and we are going to continue to be aggressive, but I can do that without running over half the field, and that's something we're going to have to do for the remainder of the season. Otherwise, NASCAR is going to really crack down on us, and not only that, but maybe my team as well. As of course, last episode with suspension in New Hampshire, Bobby Hamilton Jr. got into my car, put a great effort together. We slam into the back of Mears, who brake checks us because everyone's slowing up. Someone's got an issue. I believe it's the 24. That is the 24. Jeff Gordon with an issue here, and there's smoke pouring out of the back of that number 24 DuPont Chevrolet. We stay green. We're going to gain probably 10 positions at least right there, and the 24's got problems. Gordon's going to have to limp it back to the pit lane, and Kurt Busch continues to lead the way here in Pocono, but no caution. Jeff Gordon would get back to the pits. I can confirm the 24 does get back to the pit lane, and it was only something temporary. They were able to fix it immediately in the pits, and therefore Jeff Gordon only went one lap down, got back on the racetrack. So the 24 is now in the free pass position. We were just talking about them turning their season around a little bit. That's not how you do it, of course, here in Pocono now, but he is in a free pass position. So Jeff Gordon and that 24 team is going to be hoping for a caution, because it might not be the end of the day for them. They do not want to see, a green flag pit stop cycle where other cars could go a lap down and then a caution could come out, kind of like we just had earlier. As now for myself, we're continuing to work our way forward here. I mean, Jeff Gordon's, unfortunate situation really helped me get through quite a bit of traffic, and we're now up into P24 behind John Andretti's number 43 here, and he actually would run down the likes of Jeff Green and Mark Martin, as well as actually, who's run me down is the 5 of Terry Labonte, who got caught up in that whole mess with the 24, and he's actually going to pass me. But look at Kurt Busch. He got to the lead based off of a lot of help with that caution, but he's done a good job holding this lead. He has not lost it. He is still in control, and he's coming back from injury. Kurt Busch was out last episode with an injury. We saw Carl Edwards make his debut in that 97 and had a great top 10 run as well on top of that. Kurt Busch comes back from that injury, and here he is putting a great race together. Caution is out. Jeff Gordon, free pass in the 24. Everyone's going to come into the pits here, and it's actually for an engine issue on the 42 of Jamie McMurray. Smoke pouring out of the back of him. And I can confirm, just like Jeff Gordon, not the end of the race for McMurray. He will be able to stay in it. He will stay on the lead lap as well. As Jeff Gordon, like I said, free pass. He's going to be marching his way forward here.
We're going green.
A bit action-packed so far for a Pocono race, and as we retake the green flag, Kurt Busch will lead us back to green. We're already past halfway here in Pocono, starting lap 28, 22 laps to go, and well, this is going to be interesting because 22 laps ago, it's a one-stop race no matter what from here, with that 13 laps that we can run on fuel. So we have a couple of options here. I mean, we could go all the way into the fuel, run, and like at the very, very end, we can pit like on lap 13 of the run, or we could pit as soon as we get to, say, 13 laps to go, because we know we'll be able to go to the end of the race from that point on. We're just going to wait and see how things are looking and how the progress is throughout this field. But I feel like if we can play our cards right, we should be on track for a top 20. I don't know if we'll be much better than that. It seems like we're kind of like the 18th to 20th place car this weekend here in Pocono, but now we get to the inside of Ricky Craven as Matt Kenseth continues now out in front, as Kurt Busch has finally given up the lead. And well, you have to wonder if Ryan Newman's going to be able to return to the lead. We know that number 12 is fast, but Matt Kenseth right now on track to go 3 in a row, as we have a bit of a moment into turn 1 there with Ricky Craven, and he's lunged up the inside, and I bailed out last second, so we did not collide and wreck each other. And fortunately, we avoid contact, and we, settle out here. P21 is Ryan Newman. Newman has taken back the lead by lap 32, so to the front again. That 12, clearly whatever they had in the first Pocono race, they have brought back here this week, and they're not as dominant, but they're clearly still the best car. And as we continue to fight with the likes of Craven and Dale Jarrett as well, we're already starting to now think about those green flag pit stops. We got 17 laps to go, and I was now leaning towards the idea of pitting coming to 13 to go. So 14 laps to go, coming to 13 to go. We're going to come in, and here comes Jeff Gordon, that number 24, rallying his way back forward. He's going to break himself into the top 20. He goes 3 wide with myself and Craven. What a move from the 4-time champion. Jeff Gordon goes through, and I mean, if he can turn this into a top 10 day, what a rebound for that 24 team now as we continue to battle with these guys. Jamie McMurray as well had rallied his way back after his engine issues on that last yellow, and now he's going to be able to pass me up the inside, and we'll drop back down to P23. Ryan Newman continues to lead, and now we've got another car. So we got Johnny Benson coming up to pass us into turn 1. We're just kind of falling off all of a sudden here. So down into 24th we go, and at this point I said, okay, absolutely, we are pitting as soon as we're coming to 13 laps to go. We're going to come in, so we'll have no extra leeway on fuel. If there's overtime, we'll probably have to pit and get fuel to make it to the end of this race, but I'm not really anticipating overtime at Pocono, but never say never. But over the next few laps, we would actually start to rebound, and we get back with a great run out of the tunnel turn. We get back to the inside of the 10 of Benson, past Sim and past Dale Jarrett here. Into turn 3, we'll pull up to the back of Ricky Craven here, and Ricky Craven's, this is the most I have seen him all season long. He honestly, like, P21's a pretty good effort for this season. He's running like 30th, maybe worse in the points this season. And coming to lap 37, we're going to pass this 32, but guess what? We're coming to 13 laps to go, which means we're going to pit. So we're going to come in right here on the exit of turn 3 and get down to that 55 miles per hour, just barely. And we will make a slight adjustment here on the wedge from 50.4 to 50.5. We'll get our 4 tires on. I think we will lose a lap this time again, but we're just going to rely on fate and getting no caution on this one. So yeah, we definitely are going to lose a lap because here comes the 12. Newman in control, but he and everybody else still has to come into the pits here, and that could spice things up behind us. Matt Kenseth's actually under pressure from Rusty Wallace, having a great race in that number 2. It's been a while since Wallace has been to victory lane, but he's having a good little run here, and he's trying to make it a Penske Racing 1-2 running order as we head down towards the tunnel turn now. But these guys, even with me having fresh tires, they're just downright faster than me. And as we came back around the track, now Wallace to my inside, bringing Matt Kenseth along as well as we exit turn 1 way up the outside, as now we'll lose out to the 2 Miller Lite Dodge Charger. Now is sure enough just a lap later. Matt Kenseth now gets to my inside, and you notice Kevin Harvick, who was just behind us, he's coming to the pits. Everybody's starting their pit sequence here for the final time today. My concern, as we see Newman and Wallace come in, my concern is we might have some drivers try 2 tires, maybe, but to my surprise, it's hard to, obviously we don't know, it's hard to tell if they've taken 2 or 4, but we haven't really made up ground. Dale Jarrett is in front of me. He's the next car in front of us. Kenseth's got an issue. The 17, I think he's out of fuel. I think Matt Kenseth has gone a lap too far. He's out of gas as we enter turn 3, and that's gonna plummet him down the order because he's gonna limp it all the way back around into the pits. So he's probably gonna come out 6th, 7th, 8th potentially once he gets back onto the racetrack. So he gets to the pits from the lead as we got issues in front. The 32, he's got smoke. Caution is out, and Matt Kenseth just got gifted the lead instead because he's in the pits and can complete service on that DeWalt number 17. And clearly Craven coming out in front of us, although he just brought out the caution. Clearly the undercut did nothing for us because we actually seemed to lose ground, which makes me think they might have done 2 tires, but we have no option other than to pit and give up the track position because I'm just going to get destroyed by these guys on fresh tires. So unfortunately, we go back to 35th. Kenseth now leads over Ryan Newman, Rusty Wallace, and Kevin Harvick. Newman has had the best car all day long, but he has just not seemed to quite have luck on his side. And as we return back to racing, it's going to be 5 laps to go here from Pocono, and now we've got fresh tires, a little bit fresher tires than the rest of the field as well. So there might be a chance here to still work our way forward and get a decent result out of this, but we're going to really have to step up the aggression as we roll through one, and we're immediately 3 wide to the inside as Matt Kenseth down Long Pond straightaway in control, and Newman is under attack from his teammate there. Wallace to the inside, Terry Labonte up there into the mix as well as we head down into the tunnel turn. We're already back into the top 30 now through this tunnel turn on the exit, pulling alongside the 45 of Kyle Petty and continuing to go forward here on the run into turn 3, passing Jeff Green. Tony Raines to the outside as well as we continue to march forward. Matt Kenseth, you can see it from here. He's driving away. Newman struggling. Newman's down to P4 on this restart, and that is going to make things really difficult now. Matt Kenseth, it's looking real good for that number 17 team, and of course on the 17 team throughout this season, of course we've got members of this career mode on that team. The Gaming Freak is the crew chief, and Wild Child Elsner as well as the Gas Man, well, they're looking for another win right here. It would be their third wins as well. If Matt Kenseth can hold on, we got a caution on the run into turn 1. The 18 of Labonte and the outside wall around over the top of Biffle and lands on Jeff Gordon. Oh my goodness, caution is out. You know what that means. We're going to overtime here in the debut season of overtime in NASCAR. We're going to go to it once again. And we had worked our way up to P21, and we got an opportunity now to, maybe break into the top 15 with another aggressive restart. Nonetheless, let's make it happen. Ryan Newman is in P4 for this restart. Not looking good for him. We're back underway. 2 laps to go here from Pocono. Matt Kenseth leads the field down to turn number 1, and he's looking, like I said, for that 3rd consecutive win. What a story it would be. 1 last time out there in New Hampshire, 1 before that in Chicago. And as we head down into turn 1, we'll make it 3 wide and immediately break into the top 20. Now into P18, right to the back of the Valvoline, number 10 of Johnny Benson, passing Robbie Gordon. You got Benson, you got Andretti. I'm confident I can pass them. How about the point leader? Tony Stewart only running in 15th right now. This is an opportunity. If Kenseth can hold on, I think he might lead the points barely over Tony Stewart with where he's running. And Kenseth is running away. A bit of contact there with the 43. Now hard racing, coming to the white flag here, and sure enough, we're going to make it back to the white flag here from Pocono. Running P16 behind your defending Cup champ of Tony Stewart as we continue to follow him here on the run into turn number 1. What a race it's been here. And now as Matt Kenseth is running away, Ryan Newman is watching what surely looked like a win slip away. The 12 team just didn't have luck on their side today. We saw it multiple times, and well, he got himself mired back in traffic, and unfortunately with 2 late restarts, he's just not been able to do what he's needed to do with that number 12 as we get one heck of a run out of the tri-oval, but I'm going to make the mistake of actually getting in behind the 16. I should have shot to the inside 3 wide. Nonetheless, Matt Kenseth, he's going to do it. No competition. He'll hold off Rusty Wallace, Harvick, Newman, and it's going to be 3 straight wins for Matt Kenseth, and this might propel him to the top of the championship leaderboard as we end up P16 here from Pocono. What a race. What a finish. As you see, Labonte as well got up to 3rd. Newman dropped to 5th as Sadler as well with a top 10. McMurray in the top 10. Jeff Gordon only rebounds to 13th. Not quite what he was looking for, but still, I think he'd rather have that than where he was when the engine issues happened, which was like dead last pretty well. So, we'll take a look at the points as well. Matt Kenseth, that's his 9th career win, the 3rd win for the team members, of course, and Kenseth has a 1-point lead on Tony Stewart. But you see Johnson and Harvick not far back as well. And I mean, look at all those winners right there. Mark Martin being the highest non-race winner on points, as you see as us, of course, subtract the Bobby Hamilton Jr. point tally from our point count, which we will do when we get to the end of the season, but we know we're not quite that high in the points. Jeff Gordon's in front of us, the other Gordon Burton as well, and a few others. So that does it for me. I'll see you guys in the next one from the Brickyard 400. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.